syndrome assisted service dogs. What is that? What can they do to help a family? And why would you want one? And considerations you have to take when bringing a dog into the family. They're not robots. There's a lot of things to consider before making this huge decision to add to your family. Bring in another child, essentially. So we're going to talk to them soon, but I want to share with you their journey of how they got to where they are today. They were a Healing Hearts giveaway. They were chosen to receive a free fully trained service dog. And so I'm excited to show you. We will grab their video. While you're watching, if you think of any questions or anything you want to ask this family when we bring them on, absolutely, I'll be watching for those comments, and you'll be able to ask them any questions that you have. So I'm going to go grab this video. Hope everybody's having a good day. We had a Healing Hearts giveaway yesterday that I'm super excited about. We can't share a whole lot of it now, but it will be coming soon, information coming soon. That's all I can say right now. Let me check in and let me know that you're there. And where are you watching from? Are you watching from Las Vegas? Are you close to us? Are you watching from somewhere else? We love to hear from you. Good morning, Janelle. Good morning, Sherry and Sean. Team Jeanette, attaboy. I can always count on you to give me my hashtag, Team Jeanette, first thing. Crispin, good morning. Bev, Brittany, thanks for joining us, you guys, as we share this incredible story and talk to Ashley about her service dog. Here we go. We're going to watch it's about 10-minute video sharing their story, their journey on how they got to where they are today. All right, here we go. We're heading over to Ashley's house. We've got Fox 5. We have Norton Dog Training. We have Healing Heart Volunteers and Tracy Gifford, who nominated this family, who's helping set up this Mother's Day surprise. I'm so excited. I always get really nervous, though, I'll be honest.
My name is Tracy Gifford, and I would like to nominate Cameron Butler to receive a Healing Hearts puppy. Cameron Butler is a 4-year-old boy with Down syndrome, and this family's story is absolutely incredible. I am a health and fitness blogger, but I recently started blogging about being an entrepreneur through social media-based business, and I reached out to Brightside Beads. The owner of Brightside Beads is a 9-year-old girl. Her name is Adriana Butler, and she is Cameron Butler's older sibling. She's the oldest Butler child. She started Brightside Beads to spread awareness for kids with special needs, and she sells a bracelet. And for every bracelet, she sells bracelets. For every bracelet that she sells, she donates another bracelet to a family in need. It is a very sweet, amazing cause that's spreading awareness, but also this girl's entrepreneurial spirit is so exciting. And I love that she is advocating for her little brother and so many others during her business. When I was interviewing her for this post, I'll link the post below, she came over to my house and I happened to have a golden retriever puppy. Her, Cameron, her mother all came over to the house, and the boy was in love with my golden retriever puppy. They played together, and the mother talked about how wonderful it would be to have a service dog for Cameron to protect him from the pool, the stove, to help with, just to help him. And I thought, I know an inspirational, amazing dog breeder that I've been following. I've been following you guys, 4E Kennels, through the Trisha and Mark Wilborn story. And so I was so inspired by your generosity, by your kindness in our Las Vegas community, that I thought I'm going to reach out to 4E Kennels and try to see if this family could be the recipient.
Come along with Cameron and Down syndrome, such as more doctor's appointments and therapy visits. He has multiple times a week speech, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. We have a whole protocol that we go through pretty much every 6 months. We have to look at eyes and ears, and so definitely more appointments. He also has had heart surgery, multiple ear tubes, adenoids removed. He's had an surgery, and there will be sleep studies down the road as well. I don't really like bringing up his struggles because that's really not who Cameron is. I think that sharing the struggles though really makes you appreciate how hard he tries. And I think that shows what his true character. We set the bar and he will meet it or exceed it. And if he can't make it, if he does show us that he can't reach that bar, then we will adjust. But so far, he really has done better than we expected. And as parents, one of the things that really worries us is that Cameron he elopes, which basically means he runs. If we are playing in the street, like I said earlier in the video, he will just run if he sees something that he wants, and he's gone. Like, he's not coming back, even if you call his name. Also, if we're going to the grocery store or school, anywhere, a parking lot, Target, it worries me that he will get hit by a car, because if I do not have a death grip on him, he will just go. And that's hard, having other children in the family, because I have a 2-year-old that I am trying to get unbuckled from her seatbelt, and then I take Cameron out, and I worry about Cameron running into oncoming traffic. I mentioned that.
Should I bring it again?
Wait, I think it's a puppy. It's a puppy.
Kennels, our Healing Hearts program, and Norton Dog Training, we are so excited to be able to give this gift to Ashley and her family to help Cameron not only be a companion and best friend for him as he grows, but also a service dog. We breed Golden Doodles, but we started our nonprofit Healing Hearts, where we are gifting fully trained service dogs, facility dogs, therapy dogs, ESA dogs to those in need. And Norton Dog Training does all of our training for these dogs.
There's nothing like being a part of this program, being able to change the lives of families, being able to change the lives of dogs, and change the life of this child.
We've been incredibly blessed with the Inglestead Foundation, who has donated and granted us over $200,000 to be able to place these dogs.
You guys just started this year?
We're in a year, almost a year.
Yeah, about a year. We've been working together for about 4 or 5 years, but this particular program is about a year old.
Yeah, officially, we were donating and helping families we were training. I was donating the dog before we even started our nonprofit. You know, this family was chosen based on their resiliency and their amazing heart. And Ash not only being an amazing mother to all of her children, but now becoming an advocate for those with Down syndrome, and their oldest daughter starting Bright Beads, making beads and necklaces, bringing awareness to those with Down syndrome. So if this dog can just bring you a little bit of, relieve that burden a little bit to help keep Cameron safe, then our job is done.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, Ashley, Cameron, welcome to the Friday show. I am so excited to have you here live to share with us now. That was like 10 months ago, right?
Oh my
We
gosh.
all love the puppy giveaways, but what happens in between? What's your life been like? Now you get to share with us what has happened since then. And I see Danny there right next to Cameron. Cameron, where's your dog?
Where's your doggy?
Question.
Danny Boy's here. That's right.
He's here.
Danny Boy's
Well, thank
here.
you so much for joining us today. Tell us about watching, probably in a long time, the surprise giveaway. How does that
Oh.
make you feel?
Kind of made me cry.
It's kind of scary too.
It was kind of emotional.
Mom.
If you can send that to me, can you send that to me? That was so good. The video, yeah. And Mom, my kids look so little in it too. And Danny, you were such a little boy.
Me too. Me too.
That was definitely brought back
Danny. Danny.
good memories. Even, I mean, even the quarantine. That was at the very beginning of quarantine and seeing Scott's hair so long.
Right.
So even the surprise was on Mother's Day, and I think it was probably even more emotional for me because there were so many unknowns. So, and I think that dogs just bring so much joy to people. So seeing, watching it back and thinking of everything that was going on at that time, and then the puppy, I think makes me even more emotional because so much has happened in that time.
So much has happened. So we didn't just drop the puppy off to you, right?
Right?
And
No,
say,
you
"Good
didn't. You
luck."
took him.
We took him back because he was still a puppy. And he did go back to Norton Dog Training. But what I loved about this training in particular is because you are in Las Vegas, you are
Mhm.
one of our own. You have been really fortunate to be really hands-on with the training. Like he's been able to come back to you and spend weekends with you as well, right? Talk to us
Yep.
about that.
So at first, the first couple of months, they kept him at the Nortons kept him at their place because he was a puppy, and puppies knit, they bite, and so we didn't want to ruin the relationship between Cameron and Danny if Danny were to do puppy things like bite him, or so we didn't want them to
All
lose
it takes
that.
is one negative experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it was probably like 3 months, and then we met with them, and they said that they would let us start taking him home just like one night over the weekend, which was, I think, really good for us to start the bonding. Let me move this. Just to start the bonding with Cameron and like understanding. He's looking at the camera on here. Just so that he could kind of understand and absorb, because everything takes Cameron just a little bit longer. So I think that was kind of a blessing in disguise that we had a little bit of time before Danny was fully in our house, just to get used to having a dog in the house and getting that bond going. So that, and then over Christmas time, they let us have him for a week, which was amazing. But then it was really hard when when he had to go back, because we had really kind of gotten attached to him and kind of learned more of his personality too. So I do feel really fortunate that we live here, that we're local, and we're able to visit
really a
him.
part of it.
Yeah, and we became.
I was
Go
gonna say,
ahead.
became really good friends with the Nortons too, and they're amazing.
I love how that happens. We really truly all become family.
I know.
You have a special child next to you, Adriana,
Yes.
who started Bright Side Beads. Sorry, I said it wrong in the video. I said Bright Beads or something. Bright Side Beads. If it weren't for you and you starting your business to help raise awareness, none of this would have happened. You know that, right? Because Tracy wouldn't have found you. Tracy wouldn't have nominated you. I would have never known about you. I just want to say, I am, you started this, and I was so inspired by you and what you're doing to help raise awareness for your brother, where I think some siblings could, and I'm just going to be very honest, could be embarrassed, could be, like, why did my family, why is my brother this way? And instead, you have absolutely embraced it. Terry.
She has. I think it's kind of become a family thing too. Even Bennett likes to help out. Yeah. I think I have similar feelings with that, where sometimes kids are like, well, why does Cameron get to do that? And we don't get to do that. And I explain to them, because Cameron needs the extra help, and sometimes he needs more attention. And I think the kids are amazing with how they help and how they've become more understanding and empathetic. And it's really because of Cameron. I think Cameron he's taught us all so much, and we've always called ourselves Team Butler, but I think Cameron, like, really, when Cameron was born, it was like, our worlds were rocked. He was a birth diagnosis, and it was, everything in our life had been easy, even with Scott being in the Air Force and deploying. And, he was gone for a year when when Adriana and Bennett were Bennett was like 9 months old and Adriana was 2.5, and he was gone for a year. So, like, we've been through things before, but it still felt like, oh, we live like this sunshiny life. And then Cameron came, and we didn't know what that meant. And we still live a sunshiny life.
Yeah.
But he has made us appreciate it all. He's made us appreciate it all so much
Better.
more. Yes, he
Made
has.
you a better, stronger family. We all
100%.
choose how we react to things.
Exactly.
We all choose how to embrace things. And
Exactly.
you guys are just a beautiful example of just absolutely blossoming in despite of, challenges. Hey,
Right.
Cameron.
He's
And would you like to
he's
say anything
hand.
about your Bright Side Beads? He sees his hand.
Yeah.
Would you like to share with us what you do and why you do it?
I make different bracelets for some for different causes and some for just like kind of just jewelry. And since then, sometimes we make like right now we have like mask chains
Mask lanyards.
and like what are those called?
Oh, the collar, like the keychains. Yeah.
Hey, you guys are starting to do dog jewelry too.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you so much for mine that you guys sent as well. I love them. So let's start talking about the nitty gritty of
Yes.
what the heck does dog really do to help you, and has it, I want to see it in action. We've got some video to show people how he helps you now with eloping. And then something that wasn't talked on the video that has been trained or being trained is the Find Cam game, which we're excited to talk about. So I'm going to slide over to the our slideshow, and we're going to go through some considerations with the Down Syndrome Assist Service Dog, because I really feel like some of this is really new.
Yes.
People are like, what is a Down Syndrome Assist Service Dog? What does this do? How can this help us? And one of the things you had talked about in your video was him bolting or eloping. People don't realize there's absolutely no fear in Cameron. You will just go. The excitement and curiosity for life is 100,000% all the time, right?
All
Like
the time.
no fear all the time. And that can be scary as well. Many times it's amazing to share in that joy that everything is so new and so amazing, but can be scary because his life is at risk if he puts himself in that position. So So what we have done with Norton Dog Training is done with Danny is what's called tethering, and we're going to show that in a minute. And then set training, which is the find cam game. Because there wasn't anything on the video for that. You explain why you needed that. What does that mean?
So the bolting kind of goes hand in hand with it, because he's just so curious that he will go into places, like I'll turn my back and he just bolts. He books it and he will go places that I don't even think, like, why is he in my closet right now? What is he doing? And so I can't tell you how many times a day I say, where's Cameron? Where's Cameron? Where's Cameron? And so I don't have the time to follow him around my house all day long. And my house is a pretty safe place, but he can obviously get into some trouble even in our own home. And so in our home, it works, because if I can't find him, I have to be careful saying it right now, because Danny might actually perk up. So the command is find CAM, and he'll find him. And if we were outside where it really could be dangerous and I couldn't find him, I would I'd be watching Danny. That way I would know, okay, that's where he is. And that way I could go with him. And watching him do it, you see in movies, the scent trained dogs in like the crime movie TV shows, and seeing it in person was incredible. It's nothing I've ever seen. So they started off by having different items of clothing of Cameron's. And so I would bring them to them, and like every few weeks we'd bring fresh scented clothes, and they would practice it with Danny.
Bring the stinkiest clothes to me. Let them sleep in it. Wear it for 2 days.
I would bring them pajamas, hats, and like a pillowcase.
Yeah. Scent is in saliva.
Exactly. So careful, babe. You're going to trip over that. Oh, that's what I was worried about. We moved to the computer. So
The life of a mom.
yes. So
Mom.
we,
Mom.
so the first time I had been hearing about it, hold on, please. Okay, hold on. They would send me videos, or Jamie would talk to me about what they're doing. But then when I went and I actually saw it with Cameron, because we brought Cameron to make sure, like, he can find his clothes. Can he find a human?
Yeah.
Right. And as soon as they said it, that dog's nose is like down to the ground, sniffing all around. And we keep repeating it, find Cam, find Cam, find Cam. And he finds him and is so excited, because he knows that he did exactly what was asked of him. And it's just amazing.
Yeah.
So now we've kind of been practicing it. In our home, it's a little harder because his scent is everywhere. So, but then it can also be easier because Cameron obviously has the most scent on him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So every day we're practicing for like 5 minutes a day, just to get him remembering what we're doing.
Find Cam.
And he-
Because what if the front door gets left open, or the
Right.
back door and a side gate?
Yes,
It's a whole different level of hide and seek when he
Exactly.
could be somewhere hiding in the cul-de-sac or down the
Exactly.
street. And
Exactly.
ideally, that's what he would do. It'd be a fun game of tracking. This is just
Exactly.
simple scent work. It's a game to Danny. I will say, when I was carefully selecting this puppy for you, that was never on the table. I was never looking for nose awareness or nose confidence or that innate desire to
right.
follow scent. So I'm just so happy that he
And
is,
I had
good thing he's motivated and everything else
Absolutely.
pulled together.
absolutely, when
He
I
wants to
had thought about it,
Things I was looking at. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, the scent training had never really even crossed my mind until months later. And I just reached out to Brad and was like, would it be possible? And he didn't know, because he said, you don't know what the dog is. And apparently scent training is like hard for some dogs. So he said, we just have to see if he wants to do it, because you can't force him to. So Danny is amazing. You're everything that you do, your testing as their puppies you're spot on.
When he sees the vest, he gets excited.
That's true.
And he knows, okay, I'm in one mode. Let's go play.
And he loves it. When he sees that vest come out, he's an amazing dog, even without the vest. Like, he knows his commands and he listens. But as soon as that vest comes out, he's like, I'm on. We're working.
Time to work.
Yeah.
This brings us in so much of my mission, and that is honoring our dogs and how important it is to choose the puppy that meets these needs. I mean, this is such a huge mission I'm on, and training other breeders to my evaluations that I have devised over 10, 11 years of tweaking and learning and changing. 12 traits we super focus on. So when I was evaluating Winnie's litter, and shout out to Winnie and this fantastic first litter. Last week we had Lulu, diabetic alert dog. I was looking for nose awareness in that puppy.
Right.
I had her, you know, I'm choosing a puppy for her, and then I'm choosing a puppy for Cameron, both in the same litter. And I was looking for different things. You know, I'm looking for high, not just touch tolerance, but loves to be touched. That's two very different things in puppies. We can teach compliance and tolerance to all types of touch. I can't make them love it.
Right.
Even inappropriate, rough touch. I mean, you know, Down syndrome children can be unpredictable, can be more rough in their hugging and their loving and their intensity. You know, they love with 1,000%. And so finding a puppy that wouldn't kind of fold under that intensity and pressure was super high on my list to find a puppy that would thrive and love it and not just tolerate it. Of course, good confidence, good workability, a dog that loves to learn. So those are some of the things that I was focusing on. So of course, too, the breed and the breeder is so important when choosing a service dog, and then a trainer that has or can train a dog to this level is super important. So let's show people now. I'm going to show these are some of the videos done in helping train you, because what's so important is that, yeah, a dog's going to do what they do for their trainer, but it is known that about 25% of the training kind of goes out the window when they go home because you're not trainers. And so Brad does a fantastic job of helping train you to make sure that it stays consistent. So let's show the tethering. And I want, I'm going to stop the share real quick so we can see you too, because I think this is so important. Because there has been, and we'll talk about this after, but while people are watching this, I want this to be a focus as well. This dog is not being drug all around. He is specifically trained with a comfortable vests that are used for pulling safely, so it will not hurt him. He has been trained to work and command with his collar and leash.
Yes.
Do you want to explain that to people?
So there is so much controversy over this, even with the e-collar. Everyone's, you're abusing your dog. And so if you look up tethering, I feel like there's a lot of negative information, but I think the most important thing is that I always have control over the leash. So, you know, Cameron's not going to try to, I mean, actually Cameron would probably try to drag Danny, but I have control over the leash. So they're both always safe. And like you said, he wears his vest, and then there's another special lead that goes from Danny to Cameron. And then I'm on the other side. So Danny's in between us. And you also, if you look at the dog when they're working, Danny's he's not flinching. He's not whining. He's just sitting there like, I'm a rock, dude. I'm not moving. And he's not stressed. He's just doing what he's supposed to be doing. So, and when he does it too, he gets rewarded afterwards for doing a good job. And so I think that's one of the things I'm nervous about in public, that I'm like nervous for people that aren't educated on the topic to make comments about it. And hopefully seeing me with Cameron will actually help educate them that this is okay. He's not abused, and I keep Danny safe, and Danny keeps Cameron safe. So
exactly. He's in a vest.
Yes.
Cameron will never pull on his collar, would never pull on a halter, never pull him by his tail and drag him. He is in a comfortable, safe vest that he can literally try to pull him, and it's absolutely not going to harm this dog. And from the time this dog was little, a vest was put on him and tugging and pulling was done. And it's a game to him, a stay put game.
Right.
So I just want to make that so clear. We would never, ever put a dog in harm, nor would you. This is a group effort. Like you said, you're in charge of Danny's safety. Danny's in charge of Cameron's safety, and it's such a beautiful working relationship together. And he loves his job. He loves his boy. You know, this is just a game to him.
Right.
Literally, when Cameron pulls, I lay down. I'm a rock. I'm going to stay put. Like, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead and pull me. You know, it's funny that people panic when you see dogs pulling adults walking all the time on collars and choking and gagging. And like, it's insane that people would even question this, but they do, unfortunately. So hopefully though, this will help educate so that people understand this is a very safe protocol. This is something this dog was bred to do. He was born to serve. He was trained from 8 weeks old. This was his person. This was his job. And he was chosen specifically for that on his temperament traits. We were absolutely honoring Danny in all sorts of handling, being drugged like he didn't care. So let's see how incredible this truly is, because you've sent us some video, which is, it's really fascinating to see. Here we go. Oh, where did it go?
You want to stop? So let's stop.
Nice.
Lockdown, baby. The dog said, I don't think so, Tiger.
Oh my gosh.
Good boy. All right,
Wow.
let's walk. Okay.
Keep walking and Cameron's like,
Danny's like, nice try.
Okay, we're gonna do it again. Jim, will you come to me? Come to me. Here, give me a hug. Okay, what you got? I gotta see.
Come tell us a secret.
Oh. I can see him pushing his paws into the ground.
Oh yeah, he's leaning hard. Hey, should you go get Danny?
Oh my
Give
gosh.
Danny a hug. Give Danny a hug. Give Danny a hug. Give Danny hugs.
Huggies.
Good. Now, if you use this method and you see that Danny's thinking of
Okay, there is a look at the first video. Let's play the second one. Continue showing.
careful what you say.
I know, I was gonna say, don't say C-O-M-E. Oh, hey, this
Take that
works.
all day long.
This works.
I'll take that all day long. Because if he knows he can't leave the dog, he won't leave the dog. If the dog knows that he needs to sit down, he feels that pressure. So you're getting a double deal here.
Yeah, that's, I'll take
Right.
that.
Right? And I'm super happy with how fast Cameron came into it, because a minute ago he was not happy
know.
about it. Sit,
Hold on, Sissy.
lay down, down. So if you're down the dog, it's even another step further of just like lockdown.
Oh, I see.
Move your foot back. There you go. No, it's okay. I'll spray it down.
Here's on his foot. I
Let's
see
see.
his
Hey, Cam. You want my football? Okay, yeah. Let's go. Ready, set.
Right, yeah, Sissy. Hold on.
Don't set. Oh. Ready, set. Come here.
Careful with C-O-M-E.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, right. But be aware of it. And the dog,
All right. Thank you so much for sending those. The other thing too, I didn't say before, is we chose from large lines, you know, knowing that he would be doing this. That's another consideration too. We didn't give you a small dog that he literally could drag. You see that Cameron literally cannot. At this point, he's going to get stronger and he's going to get bigger. But have you found that he's less likely to run because he knows he can't, or because he's focused on Danny?
So that is actually one thing I was going to tell you, is that, you know, we tether them together, but then there was one day when we went out last week and I forgot to bring, I was like, I'm a service mom failure. I forgot to bring something like a backpack or pants with a loop on it to tether them together. And so I gave Cameron the lead and he held on to it. So I think he knows, I think in his mind, he doesn't realize like that he could just let go of it, but he wants to hold his dog. He wants to be with his dog. So I do think that he's learning that, okay, I'm with Danny and I'm going to stay with him. So yeah, that actually kind of really surprised me that Cameron, I just figured he'd drop it and run, but he wanted to stay with him. Yeah, he wanted
Have
to
you
stay with him.
seen any other changes in Cameron since having a dog in his life? This
Um,
is your first dog, by the way.
I know.
You guys went from never having a dog to a
Yeah.
service dog. Like, you guys don't mess around. There's
No.
been no in
Oh.
between for you. And I want you to share that with us. I mean, not only have you never had a dog, but now you literally had to become a trainer,
Right.
following up,
Right.
working with the dog on a level that
Mhm.
most people don't.
Right.
How has that been, guys?
So one thing that I've noticed with Cameron is his, I guess, confidence. I think because we're teaching all of my kids, you know, I want them to be as involved as we are, even though they're not the leader in our family, but the commands, like if you are with Danny and you tell him to sit, he has to sit. Like that is, you have to follow through with it. And so Cameron is, I think, becoming more confident because he's also learning these commands with Danny, and even verbally, I think he is learning words because of it. He's learning communication with Danny, which I think then helps communication with me, and his listening skills. Like he is having to listen a lot more. And to be honest, like because of COVID, we haven't gone out in public a lot. We haven't done a whole lot of interacting in groups. And so I've been nervous about kind of like the reintegration of going back out in public and being more purposeful. Like I could do Target pickup, but I chose to actually go into Target because I need to be purposeful with it. Like I need to make sure that Danny remembers what he's doing and Cameron is learning. Otherwise it'll be really difficult when we start doing a lot more out in public. So for me, that's like overcoming a fear too, because what mom brings 4 kids into Target with a dog?
I know. You're a whole new level of badass, I just have to say.
There you
Truly,
go.
Ashley.
I got my
you are
back.
incredible.
I got
you
back.
your
Yes. So that I do think that is something I have to remind myself, like be purposeful and like have intention with everything that I'm doing now. Also with Danny, because I don't want to just leave him at home. And the kids don't either. The kids want to bring him, and I think they see the benefit in bringing Danny too, because I'm not as stressed out about Cameron when we get out of the car, because I know like, okay, as soon as we get out, I'm connecting Cameron and Danny, and then I can get Elizabeth out of the back seat, because if I am getting her out of the back seat, what's going on with Cameron? Like, is he running into a street? So
there's only one of you. There's
Right.
only one of you. At the end of the day, there's only one of you.
exactly.
So you're able now to get Cameron and Danny out, tether them together,
Yes.
put Danny on a stay.
Yep.
And take your eyes off of both of them. Get
Right.
your 3-year-old out of the car,
Yep, 3.
and then all go in. How are these things changed your life? Not having to worry quite as much.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, just how it changed your life as far as worry and stress and having that extra set of hands. And thank you for your service of being a military wife, and for your husband's service on top of everything else you are doing. So thank you as well. So then has this service dog added to some of your work and stress, or do you think overall it's not? Because at the end of the day, families have to decide, like, he's another child.
And
There's grooming, there's appointment
Yep.
training, there's poop cleanup, there's feeding, there's, oh, now he vomited. Oh,
Mhm.
now he must have eaten something, he has diarrhea. I mean, he's not a robot. And he's still fairly young. He's still a puppy in many ways. So tell us, be truthful, give us the pros and cons. How has it been for you?
I mean, I think it's been a mix of good and, I wouldn't say bad, but good and hard. He really is like another child. And so when you get to the point as a parent, you're like, oh, I don't need a diaper bag, or, oh, I don't need to bring all these snacks around. And now I'm like, oh, I mean, now I do. Now I have to have that, make sure I have, a bag in case he has to go to the bathroom and I have to clean it up. And I want a treat in case, he's doing his job and he needs to be rewarded. I want to give him a treat. So I do have to make sure that I have all those extras. So I think people need, when you have a dog that you're going to be, whether it's a dog that you just take out with you all the time, or you have a service dog, It's not just like get up and go. Like there is the planning. But I think that at the same time, for me, I'm such a planner that, and I have 4 kids, so I'm always kind of in that planning mode. So as much as I say that's like been an extra step, for me, it hasn't been that big of a change for me. But if people aren't used to it, I do think that you have to get kind of in the routine of that. Well, even remembering to bring his leash. I have to remember to grab the leash as I walk out the door. Although he probably would be fine even without the leash because he's so good. But there have been a couple nights I had to text Jamie the next morning, like, why is he waking up at night? Like, I'm not used to waking up at night.
Not sign up for this.
Yes.
And so people know Jamie is Brad's wife at
Yes.
Norton Dog Training and a
Yeah.
huge part of the program.
Yes. So she, that was more when we would only have him for one night. And we put him in his crate and he was whining at night. I'm like, I know he doesn't do this at your house. Like, why is he doing this? And she said, turn on country music for him at night and he will be fine. And he was. I was like, all right, Danny has his own Alexa now.
Right. I know.
So,
On classical lullabies, then they go to the Nortons and they get country.
yeah, exactly. I was like, I can handle country music. I'm okay with that.
As long as you sleep, please let me sleep.
I know. One of the things I think that I didn't expect was how much people want to talk to you when you're in public.
You're like, please, people, I need to get my. Yeah, I mean, this is tough. When I was training service dogs too, I couldn't believe how much longer everything took.
Yes.
Everybody wanted to talk, and it does get exhausting. And
Yeah.
Please, this is a public announcement.
Yeah.
Please just leave our service dogs and families alone. Good
Yeah.
grief. She's got a schedule. She has things to do. To
Right.
add in an hour every time you go someplace to talk to everybody.
Exactly.
It's not fair. So please
I know.
just leave them alone as much as you want to talk to them. But
Exactly.
tell me how you've handled that then and what that's been like for you.
So I am a talker. And I also don't like saying no to people. So I think this will honestly be the hardest part for me is no, you cannot touch him. He's working. He needs to stay focused, or I'm sorry, like I gotta go. Like I'm on a schedule. I have another kid to pick up in 20 minutes. I only have 15 in Target. So I think that will be the hardest part for me. And so far people have been very respectful. We had a doctor's appointment last week and we were there for an hour and a half. And Danny was incredible. And we were at the pediatrician's office. So there was a lot of kids around and everybody there was really, really great and asked like, do you allow people to pet him? And, I said, no, we don't. And so I feel really bad telling people that, but that'll be a learning curve for me. So our experience so far has been great. But I think it also will be a good thing that it starts like the communication with even Cameron, like having Down syndrome. Like I am such a huge advocate for people with Down syndrome that I think Danny kind of starts the conversation and then it leads into Cameron and Down syndrome. And I want Cameron to be as independent as happy and as independent as possible. And if Danny can help provide that for him, like that is such a huge blessing. And then I think the bonus will be like, if we can educate people along the way about service dogs and about people that have Down syndrome, I think that is like a huge bonus for everybody. So yeah, I am looking forward to that, even though it kind of also stresses me out. I'm like, I don't have this time to talk to you.
It depends on the day too. And then it depends if you see a family with another child with Down syndrome, you're going to be naturally drawn because you are an educator, you are an advocate. But it's nice to be able to make those decisions based on your life as well. You can't just be 100% available to every person out in public all the time. It's just not realistic. It's draining. The other thing too, I just wanted to note, why can't kids touch a service dog or why can't you touch a service dog? Believe me, Danny can handle all types of touching.
Mm-hmm.
The most
Oh, yeah.
touch tolerant, it's chosen specifically for that. However, if Ashley let every kid and every person pet him and touch him and hug on him, what's going to happen is Danny's going to start to look at other people for love and affection and not focused on Ashley and Ashley telling him to be in a downstay and focused on what Cameron's doing. It will absolutely distract him from what he's doing and actually untrain him. He'll look at everybody else like, are you going to pet me? Are you going to pet me? Are you going to pet me? And he'll start getting excited. So you take him out public, he's just so excited to meet everybody else. And then that's going to absolutely fail you and Cameron with this, what he is supposed to do. So I just want to explain that to people. Like, it's not that the dog wouldn't love it, but trust us when we say service dogs get a ton of love and affection. He gets tons of downtime. He's not working all the time. And most of his work, let's be real, is just hanging out with his brother, and he loves every minute of it.
Well,
Tell us about Danny. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think that you touched on something that's important. I had some of my friends were like, oh, I feel kind of bad for him. This is before he was really in our home, but I feel kind of bad for him because he's like working and not getting to be a dog. Believe me, he is a dog. Like, he's always knows like what he's supposed to be doing. So even when his vest is off, like he knows that he is, if we say find CAM, like he knows to do it. But so he is still a family dog. He is very much a family dog. Like, the kids lay all over him. He gets treats. We play ball. We go to the park. So don't feel bad for him. And he loves doing what he does. I mean, he gets excited when he sees the vest come out. So
he was chosen for this work. So
Yes.
quit feeling sorry for servant. They asked for it. We
Yes.
listened and advocated for their voice too.
Right.
They would excel with a purpose.
Right.
We have given that to them. We have absolutely honored them, giving them a purpose, getting training for them, providing that for our dogs as well.
Yep.
Danny told us that at 8 weeks old. He was chosen specifically for this work. So please understand, these working dogs, if placed as just a family companion and then left all day while people were at work, they get anxious, they get bored, they're chewing up your couch, they're digging holes, and then we get reports. So this is when you see, I got a bad dog. I got this out because he's not serving his purpose, because you're not listening to what he needs. And so this is what's being done. This is a beautiful thing. I know it makes me, I struggle with that when people feel sorry for him. So I'm like, it's the exact opposite. We're doing nothing but empowering him and listening to him and honoring him and giving him a purpose unlike no other.
And if they didn't want to do it, he wouldn't do it. You cannot force a dog to work. You can't force them.
No, and there are plenty of dogs that would absolutely not have wanted to sign up for this role. And
Exactly.
and we are very, very careful in our placements and listening and honoring our dogs. Absolutely. Yes. Any other considerations? I know we had other slides, but I think we've touched on so many.
Mhm.
Public perception is a concern of yours. Follow-up training, how has that been?
So we, every day, if like we're not going anywhere, we're just hanging out at home, I try to make sure that we do like just 5-minute increments of training. And it's like twice a day, 5 minutes, which isn't that much more. But I think it's just being consistent. And for me, I have kids, so I try to be as consistent as possible with everything that we do. So I think the consistency is important. And we are actually going to have one of the trainers from the Nortons come out here to help to work with us on the Find CAM, because our house is just harder. And then we'll probably practice like out in our street in our cul-de-sac just to make sure that we're doing it right. And he is definitely, I mean, he knows how to do it. It's very obvious that he knows how to do it. But I wanted to come out here just to kind of make sure.
Fine tune.
Yes, exactly.
When there's not so much scent, helping him distinguish, helping him air scent. He has to air scent out of the house. In the house, much easier because it's so condensed and his scent is everywhere. So we need him to be able to make sure he's differentiating and fine tuning his skills and continuing to make it fun. All of these things are fun for him. It's literally a game. Go find, get a treat. Go do, get a treat. Lay down, get a treat. Yeah.
And we're gonna meet with Brad to fine tune us, because we also have to be trained, which I kind of didn't think about, but it makes total sense. So just to make sure that we are trained correctly and not forgetting the commands and making sure the kids even understand.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Norton Dog Training and one
Amazing.
reason why we partnered with them, because this is what trainers need to do. They
Mhm.
can, like this, train any dog.
Right.
It's incorporating them and training the new human and ensuring that everything is going well for you and you're communicating with Danny correctly.
Yep.
And then being there along all the little buttons. There's no perfect journey in a service dog, and there'll be little hangups and little tweaks and little changes.
Mhm.
What you need is the trainer that will always be there. And
Yeah.
I'm so appreciative for them for doing
And
that.
they will be. I mean, even when we travel, there are things that I don't know if we're traveling. I didn't know about the laws, and that really Danny's like a human. He can go anywhere. So I know that I'll be able to reach out to them and, ask them little questions, which is
That's so-
comforting. Yeah.
Tell me, because no two dogs are alike, and now that Danny is in your life full time, what do you love about him most?
He is, I feel like he has so much, it's like mother's intuition, like Danny's intuition. He just knows. And if Cameron is, we do our virtual learning and Danny is always by Cameron, and Cameron does not enjoy it. So there's lots of tears during class, and Danny will just sit right by him. I don't even have to tell him to go over to him. So there's this intuition with him that he just knows, like, I'm going to be by my boy. And then Cameron will kind of play with his curly hair and it soothes him. So I think he has this intuition, and he's like unstoppable. I'm looking down at him. I'm looking down because he's actually right at my feet. But he's so calm, but so smart. I think you could look at him and be like, oh, he's just calm and just a really calm, good dog. But he's also so smart and unstoppable. So, and confident. He's the total package. So, but seeing him with my kids, it's such a loud house and there's always something going on. And he's just like, whatever, we're good. He kind of calms me down because I see how calm he is. I'm like, okay, this is okay. We're going to be okay.
Yeah, we love that. And just to educate, there is something called low sight and sound sensitivity with puppies, and we do test for that. And we want puppies that would not be bothered at all by all types of sound. And
Right.
and Danny met that low sight
Oh,
and sound. Movement,
100%.
craziness, screaming,
Yes.
again, honoring our dogs. Imagine putting a dog in your home that was high sight and sound sensitive. They would fall apart and crumble,
Okay.
So it's making that magical match, which is so important. So you touched on it. I was going to ask you, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, is of helping you calm. You're kind of you are the main caregiver for this dog and handler for this dog. What is your relationship like with him that maybe was unexpected?
It's funny. I feel like he just follows me all around the house. If Cameron's doing his own thing, he's by my side all the time. And I love it. I think that he knows that sometimes I need the calmness too.
What a good boy.
Yeah, he is so good. He's just he's my little sidekick now. He just never wants to leave my side. And I love it.
You guys are in this together.
Yes.
I feel like you have
He's like another mom.
another mom. We got this, dude. We got this.
Yes,
Yeah.
he really. So he's awesome. I mean, you did an amazing job picking him. So.
Would you do it again?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the longer that we go through this journey, I'll see even more benefits. Because right now, like I said, we're not doing a whole lot. But sports have picked back up. We've got t-ball and softball and golf starting. So I think that once we are doing that more, and I'm still kind of uneasy right now, even when we go in public, because I'm not used to it. So I think the more I get used to it, I will just see more benefits to it. So absolutely, I would do it again.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing on this journey and letting us knock on your door on Mother's Day.
Yes.
Unannounced
I'm
surprise.
just glad I was dressed and ready.
I know, it always makes me a little nervous. We had Tracy come in
Uh-huh.
to kind of, she's like, she was all in on it to make
Yeah.
sure you guys were dressed.
Yeah.
And kind of help facilitate the surprise so that,
Yeah.
it always makes me a little nervous knocking on someone's door that, holy heck, maybe this is
I know. I think Scott had been
not
in
the best.
pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott had been in the pool. He was in his bathing suit bottom trunks in the video.
Yeah, no, having just a really nice, lovely, lazy Mother's Day morning, and boy, we just stormed into that, didn't we?
It was
Brought in
awesome.
a film crew and a pile of us, so
Yeah.
thank you so much for being open and willing. I shout out to Tracy for nominating, shout out to your daughter again for her Bright Side beads. People were asking, how can they buy?
Oh, so her Instagram is at Brightside Beads. I think I even have it in Danny's Instagram. Maybe I don't know, but it's at Brightside Beads.
Okay, and what's Danny's Instagram, so we can go, everybody can go follow him as well?
Danny the Service Doodle.
Danny the Service Doodle. So both are on Instagram. Go follow them. Continue following them on this journey. Thank you so much for being a part of our family. Truly, I'm just.
Thank you.
I can't say it enough. The people that have been brought into my life.
Well, you're incredible. You obviously are bringing that. I mean, you send out this energy, and people. So you bring amazing people to you. Same with the Nortons, all of you guys. You're such an amazing team. And I don't know, I mean, I feel really lucky that we're a part of it. Even the people from Danny's litter, meeting them at the park, I'm like, this is a whole nother family. This is amazing. I love it. I love the community and the connection. And you are, I mean, you're the reason for that. So thank you.
I'm incredibly lucky, truly blessed. The people that I get to meet on this journey and that trust me with their family. You know, this is a family member. So thank you so much for being part of our family. You guys are incredibly inspiring, from you to your daughter to Cameron, just an incredible family. So thank you for letting us be just a tiny little sliver of that and sharing this journey with you of watching Cameron truly blossom with his best friend, Danny.
Yes, thank you. We're excited for the journey.
I know. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye.